All right. So here we are back again, boys and girls. Dr. Nikita Vizniak with the amazing
Dr. Catherine Chung.
And I weigh, actually no, sorry, pardon me. I am 180 centimeters or 6 feet tall, believe it or not.
Yep, and I am 5 feet tall, which is 150 centimeters.
And we are going to show you guys some variations in height and how you might set up biomechanically across different patients.
Exactly.
So to start with, why don't we go ahead and we're going to work on a PI ilium. So what's happened is the ilium is rocked back a little bit. We know that's fairly common, usually associated with a nutated sacrum. So we'll start off with that basic adjustment right there. So if I can, I'll have my patient lay down on her left-hand side, facing the wall this way. So a couple of key things here for us to realize. First of all, for a PI ilium, basic side posture setup, you still want to follow your basic protocol. So number one, I put my leg on the side of the table here, bend her foot up so it's back into her popliteal fossa, take her hips, and I'm pushing on the low side of her hips, and I'm on the inside of her knee, and I'm going to lift her up and slide her in like that. The next thing you're going to do is try to avoid pulling the shoulder out. If I pulled her shoulder out like this, I'd be putting a lot more torque in the lumbar spine. Generally, I'll have the patient up just a little bit like this and her head in a roughly neutral position like that. So this is our starting position for most side posture setups that we're going to be using. Simple, effective, easy to use. Next thing is finding the PSISs. Easiest way that I know to find the PSIS is to put my thumb on an iliac crest and your fingers will automatically fall to where the PSIS is. Mark the PSIS with your finger, sliding under to going to a hypothenar contact. Your tissue pull is going to be M to L, P to A, and I to S when we're doing this. But it's light right here. Where I see a common error for a lot of students is they try and get this right at the very start. Their shoulder sticks out. I've seen a number of practitioners actually end their careers with anterior rotator cuff tears from trying to thrust in this type of a position right here. So I want to be generally, and that's why we're wearing the tie right here especially, sternum over top of contact. If I can maintain that, I'm in good body position. So Catherine's going to take a big breath in for us. No pressure. She breathes out. I'm loading, 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 and full body drop into it at the end. Key thing for this one, we'll demonstrate it from the opposite side, is that my force is actually really being generated from my legs. What happens for a lot of guys especially, or a lot of people with a lot of upper body strength, is they try and jam through this with just their upper body, and if you do that, you lose about 50% of your power. The strength actually comes from your hips and leg moving back and forth, okay? All right, so same thing, we'll get her a little bit closer to the edge, over to the side like this. Nice neutral spine, so we know we're staying specific for the SI joint. Big breath in, and she breathes out, load, 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 hips and everything driving forward like that. How do I know this wasn't a lumbar adjustment? As I rolled her forward, I let her whole body come forward. I keep her stable so she's not going to fall, but I'm not giving her that real torquing motion across the body like that. Okay? So we'll have Catherine give a demo on this as a smaller practitioner.
So because I'm only, 150 centimeters we calculated? The side setup is going to be exactly the same because that's just how the vector is going to be. So the biggest change that you're going to be doing when you're setting up your patient is one, Dr. Nick was saying that he contacts the lower part of the hip and then the inner knee and then he'll lift the patient, but because I'm so small and that's just not something that I can actually do, what I tend to tell my patients is, hey, can you just move your hips in with my hands, and then I'll guide them, and then they'll move for them. So then I don't injure my back, and then they know what they're doing as well.
Yeah, great tip.
Just get you move forward. Excellent. So everything's quite stacked there. And then the setup is still going to be the same leg-wise. It's just how high you're going to get up. So because I'm so short, I have to really get up. Like I'm on my tippy toes here, which I'll show you on the other side of how high I really have to be, where my kneecap is actually into the popliteal fold here as well. And that's how I'm going to control his leg and his hips at the end of the day for all my side setups. So I'm just going to find his PSIS, and men's hips always throw me off because their iliums are always higher than their actual belt line, which is funny enough. So Dr. Nick's belt line is here. The top of the ilium is actually here, which makes his PSIS here, and the pant line always throws me off. I don't know why.
Yep, it's just, it's there.
It is what it is.
Yep.
So setup is going to be the same, a light setup like this, and then he's going to take a breath in, and then I set up my legs, and he's out. Good, 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 and then all the way through like that. I would roll him a little bit more, just so that I'm a little bit on top of my hand a little bit more. And then the drop is sternum over contact, and then I touch the sternum with my hand here, like that. or I touch my sternum to my hand.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a good point right there too, because you're able to deliver all of your body force directly into your hand when you do that.
Exactly. And the best thing is to roll them towards you. Instead of you bringing your body to their hip, bring their hip towards you, and then that will give you a nice mechanical advantage to actually have that crisp thrust through.
Yep, totally. Demo on the other side here really quick.
So setup is still the same. We're gonna move forward.
That was a really good tip about saving your own back as the practitioner. Just guide the patient. You don't have to actually physically move them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So hand contact over here is a stabilizer, and then on the PSIS here. So when I said I'm getting, I have to come up high, like I'm actually on my tippy toes. Like this is how far I have to get up. So then as I'm coming down, then I bend my knee to really lock them out here. And then that's where the thrust is gonna come. So can I press here?
Absolutely.
Okay, breath in, and out.
Nice. Yeah.
And then that's a moneymaker right there.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. A lot of patients, tight SI joints that are overlooked by a lot of other practitioners, so please make sure you pay attention to that.